Hey everyone, it's Matt aka Tech Ranger, and today we're going to be taking a look at my load order for Starfield on the Xbox because it's been a minute. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the recent additions, kind of like how we normally do it, like showcase mods, but I have added quite a bit since that last load order video, so paired with some comments from you all, I thought it was time for an update. At the end, I'm also going to go over some of the patches and things that I've added for things like user interface mods and stuff like that. So like normal, we'll have a spreadsheet down in the description if you guys want to see everything that I'm running, or at the end of the video, I'm just going to run it through like the list like we normally do. If you have any questions about anything, leave a comment down below and like if you enjoyed the video. But with all that, let's take a look at my load order for Starfield on the Xbox in 2025. So recently I started using StarUI because I had gotten ported over to the Xbox in an all-in-one version, and while it did touch a lot of the menus in the game, which look a lot better in my opinion, it didn't touch everything. One of those areas is the Mission UI screen. So we have another mod called the Compact Mission UI, aptly named. So now this screen with all the missions looks a little bit more compact and a little bit more like it fits in with the changes that StarUI brings. In this section, I thought we'd pick up some missions from the bounty board and then see how that looks in game. So without this mod, you see a lot of bigger entries with the missions. However, with this mod, there's smaller text, so that means you can fit more in a line. There's also a lot more entries because of this. The black vignette in the mission screen is also gone, which I'm not sure that I love that change, but it's a change, as well as a lower opacity for actual objectives that you've already completed in one of your missions. Another cool change is that any mission that has a timer, this timer will actually change to red if it's under 24 hours, letting you know that you should probably act on that. This way, if you get sidetracked, if you see some red, that might actually make you realize that you need to do that thing. There is also support for the large menu fonts in the accessibility settings, so if you need to use the larger fonts or just like playing with it, you can still use this mod. When flying around space in this game, there is a lot of UI kind of surrounding your ship. It's useful information here, but it is a lot, and you can turn it off entirely. You can do this by holding the view button on the Xbox controller, but you won't be able to move. You can actually boost and shoot though, just not super helpful. It would also be cool if you could go into your ship and not actually see all this extra UI around, make it harder to see what you're looking at. With the minimalistic ship HUD, you immediately see the difference. You see this UI cleaned up a little bit. Those boxes around the information on the left and right are gone, and so is that big circle in the middle. The crosshair was also changed, so when you go into that cockpit view, you can actually see what you're shooting at a little bit more clearly. Looking at these side by side, the biggest change for me is getting rid of that big old circle. Some of these shapes have also been redone, and there's been a little bit of a blur added in some spots that you may notice. There's subtle changes here, but I think they're welcome ones. If you want some of these changes but want to go a little bit more compact, there is another option, which is Keelo's sleek ship HUD. There's some similar changes, just everything's a lot smaller. This one might be for you if you wanted to move everything more out of the way. And then also the background, if you pick up something out in space, is actually removed from that container. The next mod that I've been messing around with lately has been the Allied Assault Rifle AA-15. Along with the G36, I was using this Armalite one as well, which I really like, but why have one or two of those mods when you can have three? Once you install this one, you can get a free copy at the Centurion Arsenal in New Atlantis, and that'll actually be conveniently placed on the desk right in front of the vendor. It's actually a pretty cool looking rifle, and it has some RGB lights on it as well as that little ammo counter on the back. This should be distributed in leveled lists so you can find it when you're out and about. That means it should also show up at vendors, although you're probably going to have to wait 24 to 48 hours for that to actually populate and for vendors to actually carry it. There's a pretty healthy dose of customization here too. I might make a short going over some of these, although I did want to mention that you can change the ammo type. I changed mine to 11mm because that seems to be the ammo that I have most of. White hot rounds and a white paint job to make this look and feel a little bit more futuristic to fit in with Starfield. I've looked at a lot of weapon mods in Starfield, and this one's a good addition. I also really enjoyed the Starlight pistol from this author as well, so the AA-15 is a good addition to this list, I think. Good looks and a healthy dose of customization. A couple quick notes is that this ammo framework at the top, this is only for one mod in my list at the moment, and that's the G36, but it's a ammo framework mod that introduces new ammo into the game. If you're not using a mod that requires it, then you won't need it in your list. The paid mods that I'm using are the Raging Heavy Revolver, McLaren's Outfitters, the Escape Quest mod from Bethesda, because I think it's fun to play through on multiple playthroughs, and the Starfield Spacer Overhaul by Zone 79. For those of you who will just be watching the video and watching the list in-game, the Enhanced Lights and FX mod is not currently up on console at the moment. It was uploaded by someone else previously, and I just have that disabled at the moment because the original mod author is actually going to upload a version of that when it's done. I just didn't want to outright delete this unfinished version just in case it's a while until that one comes out. So for right now, I'm using the color filter removal. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but man, does it make it a lot easier to see in certain areas, especially when it's dark. But if you don't want to use that mod and you like the look of the original game, I would definitely recommend checking out Star Luminous. I did make a video on that if interested. And one last thing I wanted to mention about the list, the additional weapon icons that I used previously, that mod is actually not going to be supported anymore, so feel free to look through the description on that one if you have any of those weapon mods installed. When I was recording this video, I saw that there was a patch actually released in beta that should allow mod authors to easily add icons in the creation kit. So for weapon mods after this patch, it might not be necessary to have another mod to have it show up in your HUD. So I removed the additional weapon icons mod, and I'm just using the ammo HUD ones, for the time being at least. And that is going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I haven't made a Starfield load order video in a hot minute, so I wanted to update the one that I had. Kind of going for that Vanilla Plus playthrough still. I'm actually on a New Game Plus too. And then I do want to start looking at like some Star Wars mods at some point as well. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any suggestions for that. But with all that, after I stop talking, we'll have the list in game if you guys want to see it that way. Spreadsheet is down in the description if you want to see the links to everything. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.